Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
an Aligoté from France.
Aligoté from France. How fun. Hey, welcome back to the show. My name is Joel, as always, joined by my best buds, Aaron and Colin.
Hi, Joel.
Thank you for being here.
Hi, Joel.
Hello. Really excited for today's show.
I'm super excited as well. I'm excited because we get to drink wine, and I'm excited because I get to ask a really important question.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that this is one of those episodes where we're going to drink some wine because the other ones suck.
Yeah,
wine
what's
episodes
your important
are our
question?
worst
episodes. The important question I have today is, what the heck is Aligoté that I've went out and purchased and I've poured into a glass, and I don't know what that is.
That's a really good question.
Question.
I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at this if you don't mind.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Strap in, folks.
Aligoté. No, I'm not even going to do it. Colin?
Coming from the Greek aligote.
I got so excited. They're usually so good. But Aligoté.
Pressure.
That's all right. That's all right. I appreciate the setup. The setup still had me going. But Aligoté is a zippy white wine from zippy white wine from the Burgundy region of France. So that's what we're getting into this evening.
Nice.
Always from Burgundy?
No, they make it other places, but
Okay.
its home is Burgundy.
I feel like we don't drink a lot of zippy wines from Burgundy. I don't know. That's not usually one of the words that we describe with our begonias.
I don't disagree with that. Usually not terribly zippy, but this one's probably gonna have some zip.
Today might be terribly zippy.
Gosh, I love that. And I gotta say, we got to be a little zippy on this one too, because we're doing something a little different today, folks, and very exciting. So today we're gonna jump right into this Aligoté. We're gonna chat about it. We're gonna do all the things we usually do. We're gonna learn a little bit about it. We're gonna taste it. We're gonna review it, and then we have a wonderful interview with our buddy Mohona Chowdhury. You may know her as the Winedian Girl on the socials. She's a WSET 3 certified wine scholar, master's in wine and hospitality management, lives in Burgundy, where she spends a lot of her time really just kind of finding this really cool blend of her heritage, Indian cooking, mixing with French wine, which is, I think, a really cool mix. We get into that a little bit when we talk to her. But just a lovely
Great
human
interview.
being and a lovely conversation that we have with such a cool person in the wine biz. So we don't want to wait too long to get into that fun. But what do you guys say? Let's chat about this Aligoté. Obviously, a little bit inspired by the conversation that we had with Mohona from Burgundy, right down the street from her. And I think we chat a little bit about Aligoté on that call as well. So, Aaron, you want to tell the folks at home a little bit more about the wine that we're going to be drinking today?
Absolutely. So this is from Domaine Laurent Dufouleur. It is obviously the Bourgogne Aligoté from 2023. It is 100% Aligoté. It's an ABV of 12.5%, and we got this for around $20.
Yes, $20 dollars well spent, whatever you use to purchase this, I hope. But Aligoté, first time we've had it on the show. What do you guys think? Should we just jump right into it?
Yeah. I want to learn. I always love learning about a new wine, especially new white wines.
Yes, same here. So let's do our normal thing. We'll give it a smell. We'll give it a taste. We'll learn a little bit more from Colin. We'll come back and see what we think. Anybody want to go first?
Tastes like wine.
Please, God, Colin, go first.
Take it.
Yeah, so I'm getting a little bit of sulfuriness on the nose, almost like it's often referred to as like matchstick or burning matches. I definitely get that there.
Yeah.
And that comes from, and I don't know too much about how this wine was made, but that comes from a wine being made in a reductive style, meaning very little oxygen comes in contact with the wine, and it is done to preserve some of the more fruity flavors in the wine. So I'm assuming that this has been produced in a rather reductive style.
I'm so glad that you called that out, because there was something in there and my mind was kind of going to like, oh, the petrol thing that we've called out before, but it wasn't quite right. And then when you said that, it was like snap in my head. That was exactly what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, and it's like the matchsticks along with there's like fruit, but it's not it's not the same fruit we normally get. It's like more of, like tropically, like I don't know, like more like melony than like I mean there's like lemon, there's like citrus, but like maybe more like melon than
Yeah. No, I don't dislike that at all.
like it's not apple, you know.
I don't disagree, but the one thing I will say is at the same time, big citrusy that I'm
Totally.
getting on the nose as well.
Ton of lemon.
Yeah,
right off,
definitely lemon.
or on the nose for sure. And then I'll say there's almost like I like you said tropical. I like that. There's almost like I want to call it pineapple. I don't know if that makes sense. And maybe it won't show up on the palate, but maybe I'm just going crazy. But it'll be interesting to see how this one tastes because it smells definitely, I'd say, unique compared to some of the other whites that we've had.
A little floralness in there too, I would say.
Love that. Such a good call.
Well, let's give this thing a try. Aaron, what do you think?
Woo! I mean, definitely from a structure standpoint, you got that acidity. There's like a little bit more body to this, I think, than, you know, your average white. There's like a little bit of body, there's a little bit of acidity. I don't know, Colin, would you even call that? It's like not tannic, but there's like that. It's and maybe it's like fully the acidity is talking. There's just such there's so much happening in my mouth right now. It's like a lot of saliva.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the heavier body, and I'm kind of getting, and I didn't really get this on the nose, but when we had Nat on the show, she mentioned like a sweet, almost like a vanilla cream type thing going on, and for me, there's a little hint of that in there, and I wonder if that, along with the body, if this wine has maybe seen some lees aging. Like I don't know, again for sure, but you're right. For as acidic as it is, it's not as watery as I would have expected it to be.
Sure. Joel, what are you thinking?
There's a bitteriness to this, and I think we had called out the lemon, and I think that really comes through. But what also I would clarify that with, at least on the palate, is, you know, like when you get to the white part, the bitter lemony part where you kind of the pith, exactly the word I was looking for. Definitely that aspect of it.
I totally agree. That you took the words right out of my mouth. I was thinking the exact same thing. I really think the flowers come across here too. It feels like a field of wild flowers in my mouth. And then I would say there's a little bit of minerality in there as well. And again, kind of like a clean. We talked about, Joel, I think you mentioned last episode or a couple episodes ago, like a clean slatey kind of minerality, or almost like maybe bordering chalky. But there's definitely like a through line of that in here as well.
Totally agree.
The only other thing that pineapple I picked up, maybe a little bit of that on the finish, but like it's nowhere to be found on the sip. Like it's not in there at all. But then it kind of comes through a little bit afterwards.
It's funny. I couldn't decide if it was pineapple. Like, to me, I wouldn't go a level deeper than just saying what you said, Aaron, of just tropical fruit, because I can't put my finger on which one. It's just like, just a nice tropical.
So much
tropical.
so that the thing that is reminding me most of right now is a Capri Sun, like the tropical fruit Capri Sun. That's just like that, like collection of tropical fruit flavors without specific ones.
Sure.
Like that's what I'm reminiscing to. Now I'm not saying it has like that like juicy kind of stickiness or anything like that, but just that like no, it's not juice. But I'm saying like that's like the memory tinge in my head that I'm connecting this to.
That's fair. I was going to say, comparing this to a Capri Sun is an immediate disservice to this wine because it doesn't, like, I understand what you're saying. I'm glad you clarified, but that was my immediate thought.
Just like that, like, collection of, like, tropical fruit flavor, smell, totally. But no, this is a very elevated white wine for sure.
Yeah. I think what you're saying is that aspect of the flavor most reminds
you of that mix. If I could get this wine in a fruit punch like box and carry this with me, I would be pretty stoked about that option, though.
Well, now you're going the opposite of what I just tried to say before.
No, I just want to carry this with me in like little. I just want to keep this in my lunchbox.
Oh, so it's more about just transportability than.
I'm talking about logistics and convenience right now, not flavor. Let's keep it going.
Fair enough. Okay, perfect. I think we've called out a lot of fantastic and silly things.
That's what
Colin
comes to this show.
That's very true. Listen, if you want something a little more serious, there's other podcasts out there, all right, guys? Colin, teach us a little something so we know a little bit more about what we're experiencing here, please.
This is the only thing you will learn.
Well, actually, I want to try a little something new for the learning
baby.
segment today. And
I'm
we
intrigued.
don't have a name for it. So if you have a creative name for it, please let us know because I floated one and the guys hated it. So we will workshop the name. But if you have one based on what we're about to do here, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
So we're going to learn today by asking questions. So we're going to go around, we're going to ask some questions, we're going to do some short answers. It's going to be short, hopefully fun, and at the end of the segment, I hope you have learned a thing or two about Aligoté and or Burgundy. So, Joel, we are back in Burgundy, but we were not sipping its most famous white wine. What grape usually steals the spotlight from Burgundy?
As far as white wines go,
White wine, that's right.
oh, I believe that would be Chardonnay.
That's right. Very good.
But, I'm glad we're trying this too today, this Aligoté, because it's, I think, gaining popularity wildly. So much so that already has its own village level AOC, which I think is pretty impressive. So, question for you, Aaron. If you're looking for a more serious bottle, which level would you be looking for?
Well, it's a good thing I studied up for this episode, Joel, because if you want a more serious bottle of Aligoté, you want to travel to Bouzeron.
Oh, that's correct.
Ooh,
Well done.
lovely.
Yes.
And
yes.
I pronounced it right.
I'm impressed.
Well done. Yeah. Top-notch pronunciation.
Bouzeron.
Well done.
Excellent. But here's a twist. Are you ready, Colin? I'm coming back at you.
Let's hear it.
Aligoté and Chardonnay are actually siblings. Do you know which two grapes are their parents?
And I found this incredibly interesting. It's actually Pinot Noir and a grape that we've not tried because it's not that popular, but Gooey Blanc. So it's
There's
crazy.
some gooey grapes out there?
Blanc.
Gooey Blanc. Yes.
Whoever
That is
named
new
that
for
was
me.
a jerk.
But just kind of think about like both Chardonnay and Aligoté from Burgundy, both with the same parents, but just, through time have slightly different mutations as the parents kind of crossbred. That's incredible. That's a wild parentage story. So we talked a little bit about this, and Joel, I am coming back to you. Aligoté is known for its zippy acidity, but what can you expect flavor-wise from an Aligoté if you're unfamiliar with the grape?
Yeah, I think honestly, probably a lot of what we've called out here today, the lemon, the citrusiness, I think some, floral notes in there. A lot of the fresh green call outs that we've called out, green apple, some herby notes, things like that. Which leads me to a question too. What would y'all be eating with this Aligoté here?
Well, I'm happy to answer this one. And these are the things that you should eat with Aligoté, not things that I have eaten or eat often.
Yeah, Aaron,
To
you
be
won't
clear,
be eating any
being
of
the
this.
person
Let's just-
assigned this question, I'm going to trust y'all that this would pair incredibly well with oysters, goat cheese, salads, or sushi. And I would
Ooh.
say
had
I
me
have
at
had
oysters.
1 out of 4 of those things in the past 5 years of my life, and you can guess.
Wait, did
can't
you
actually- I have
say
no
dinosaur
idea which one.
chicken McNuggets?
I bet
I didn't hear you say that.
Dino Nuggies would pair excellent with this, I bet.
This actually probably would go well with Dino Nuggets. I'm not totally opposed to that at all.
Oysters,
That sounds
goat
great,
cheese,
actually.
salad, sushi, Dino Nuggies. Quote me.
Book it.
Fun.
Book it.
Book it.
I love
All right,
that.
well,
Hey, look at
yeah.
us. We I think we learned a little bit. We knew a little bit more than maybe we thought. I think that's really cool.
Studying helps, kids.
Studying
It does.
does
No.
help.
These are 5 things that you absolutely need to know about Aligoté.
All right. So with all that in mind, a little more confidence in what we know, maybe learn a thing or two here. You guys want to give this thing one more sip, see if there's anything else we want to call out, and then let's do a quick review. What do you think?
Let's do it.
I mean, I have to say, leaving this bottle open up for a little bit and like giving a new fresh pour, like there really is a lot more coming out on the nose. Like, we don't often talk about letting white wines open up, but this is a nice one to let open up for a bit for sure.
I agree. And some of that matchstick kind of dies off as the wine opens up. It's actually interesting to leave it in the glass for a while and then go back because the wine from the bottle is way more intense with that note than it is in the glass after a while. So super interesting. And if you're not a fan of that, let it burn off for a little bit and it really becomes almost not a completely different wine, but it changes quite a bit.
Do you know what I think it maybe replaces that match stickiness with, too, is a little bit more of that herbaceousness maybe peeking through there. And maybe also just because we were talking about it a little bit more in the previous segment, so it's kind of on my mind, but I feel like it's a little bit more present now.
Yeah, No, for sure. And I think that too kind of ties in with the wildflower thing because for me it put me in like a French field where there's just like herbs growing and flowers. It's really
Yeah.
it's more than just floral. There's quite a depth to that note I think that we don't always find.
Totally. I want to clarify because I feel like sometimes we can say herbal and mean a little bit like a Jägermeister or something like that. That is not at all what I mean here. I'm literally talking like herbs you cook with, exactly like what
Yeah.
you were saying. So yeah,
French,
I
yeah,
think that's a
no,
great
totally French herbs.
vision of this.
Garrigue, I
Yeah.
believe, is
Yeah.
the term, which is like a blend of like rosemary and fennel, bay leaf, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what it's bringing to my mind. If not
Spot on.
those spices, something in that vein.
All right, so listen, we've had Mohona in the green room for like 40 minutes. She's run out of M&Ms and bottled water. We need to get going over there. So let's go ahead and jump into our review.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right, guys, our first Aligoté. Really fun, I think, to kind of chat about this, learn a little bit, but I'm very curious where you're putting this thing. I'm going to eeny, meeny, miny, mo this. Colin, where are you putting this?
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think it is very different from the white wine we usually have on the show. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of complexity. We talked about herbs, we talked about some tropical vibes, we talked about the bitterness. It's just all coming together in a super interesting sip. So honestly, this is like the close to the tippity top of the must share category for me. I mean, I really like this. It's like almost, it's probably sitting on the wine fridge. I don't have a huge wine fridge, but there's some space on top. Yeah, no, it's just such a cool wine. And this is, we talk about this sometimes, but you have your drinkers and you have your thinkers. This is a thinker for sure. Just like you can sit here with this glass of wine for 20 minutes and still find new things, which I really appreciate. Between that and I think it's really well balanced structurally. So I think this is great wine and an absolute must share. I will say I don't know if this white wine is going to be for everybody. I could see if you're not a classic white wine drinker, this might not be your jam. But for me, I love it. So absolute must share.
Awesome. I
So
love that. Aaron.
I'm right there with Colin. We talk so much on the show about building up our wine repertoire, and I think this is another example of a style of wine that you can go and grab that is affordable, that is going to be exciting and new, and will be a conversation starter, and will give a different aspect of your evening or your meal by not grabbing a Sauvignon Blanc or not grabbing a Chardonnay and trying something new. So I think it's an absolute must share. It's really tasty. It's really elegant. There's a lot of different flavors going on. And it's just a smooth drinker and really fun. So adding Aligoté to a list of wines that I will grab in the future, and at $20, next time you're having folks over for dinner and you want to grab a few different bottles, this would be a great bottle to add to your lineup.
Totally agree. I will not bury the lead. Must share from me. At no point, it's funny, as soon as I drank this, I was like, I knew exactly where this was going to go. I never toyed with a casual drinker. I never toyed with the wine fridge. I just knew this was going to be a must share for me. Same reasons you guys said. Super crisp, super delicious. So much to talk about, so much to explore. We only went like 15, 20 minutes before first and second sip, and there was already things that were changing, which I think is always cool. And anytime that I'm drinking a wine, especially a white wine, that's getting me like really, really excited about pairing this with food, I'm super excited. So total must share. And looking forward, again, anytime that we go into a new territory or a new grape and we just scratch the surface, I want to do more. So looking forward to getting more into Aligotés for sure.
Cross one more grape off the list.
Yes.
Of the
What do
10,000.
we have?
We're on our way.
Oh, 10,000. Okay, so about 9.
We're on our way. We're probably at like 40.
73 to go.
Yeah, we're on our way.
Yeah. Cool.
We can do it.
Well, it's better than we were 2 years ago. That's not bad. It's not bad.
Yes, we are a percentage better.
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. Yeah, you heard it here. Not a waste of your wine. Really, really enjoyed doing this one, but do not want to wait any longer. Let's go ahead and jump into our awesome conversation with Mohona Chowdhury. Here we go.
Today's guest is Mohona Chowdhury, the brilliant mind behind The Winedian Girl, a platform where wine culture and storytelling meet. With over 8 years in the wine and hospitality industry, she's worked across India, France, and earned her WSET Level 3 distinction and completed a master's in wine and hospitality management in Paris and Lausanne. Now, based in Burgundy, Mohona brings a fresh, inclusive voice to the world of wine. Through her blog and brand, she creatively pairs French wines and Indian cuisine from all over, breaking stereotypes and expanding palates. Her mission is to make wine approachable, multicultural, and community-driven. Whether you're a seasoned oenophile or just wine curious, Mohona's insights are both rich and refreshing. Mohona, welcome to the show.
All right, so Mohona, tell us, where did your wine journey begin? How did you get into the wonderful world of wine?
So it was actually when I was in the hotels in India. I was doing my bachelor's in hotel management and I was working with five-star group in India known as the Oberoi groups of resorts and hotel. And I was working there. And that's where suddenly one day I was in my fine dining restaurant and my supervisor goes like, go serve the wine. And I was so scared because wine is always like a very intimidating thing. And I was like, are you
really
sure?
is.
And it was like a super important guest. He was a VIP guest and everything. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, go, go, go. And the guest was so nice and he was so supportive. He was cheering me on the complete time. He was just so adorable. And I was like, okay. And after that, that actually hit me into wine. It was my first year in my bachelor's. And then I started getting into it. I finished my bachelor's in 2020, but there was COVID. Then I was like, okay, I want to do completely something with wine, absolutely with wine. And I was searching for courses all around the world. And during pandemic, it was not so easy either. So I got across a course which was a master's in wine and hospitality management by Kedge Business School in Paris and École Hotel du Lausanne in Switzerland. And École Hotel du Lausanne is the best school in the entire world. So I was
Oh
getting double
wow.
Oh,
degree
wow.
and it was like good. I got into with the scholarship, full scholarship. So I was like, okay, that's good. And yeah, then I come to Paris, peak COVID in January 2021. And yeah, since then it's never looked back. I'm just into wine, completely immersed.
Yeah, and
That's
what a
so
place to
cool.
learn about wine. I mean, if you're going to go
Yeah,
anywhere, I mean, to be in Paris and France is,
exactly, exactly.
that's, does it get any better? I don't know.
Exactly. It was such a beautiful experience in Paris, but obviously it had its own disadvantages as well, facing racism and people
Mm.
who feel that
Hmm.
you are too young and you don't have experience even though you have so much experience and certifications.
Yeah.
Misogyny, it's like very common in the wine industry in
Sure.
France. I don't know in America so much,
Hmm.
but in France it's pretty common because it's a very male dominated industry,
Mm.
especially where I'm living right now in Burgundy.
So I'm
Mm.
gonna be 100% honest with you. I am really glad you brought that up. I'm just gonna pull back the curtain a
Yeah,
little bit. Colin, Joel, and I have talked about this before because like I know that you lean very heavily into your heritage on your Instagram and on your website, and I was like, man, should we ask about like if she's had to experience like the misogyny or racism or anything, and we're like, oh, we don't want to make any assumptions that like that's any of that like got in the way. So
Yeah.
yeah, was that how much of a barrier was that to kind of going from India to the center of wine world?
Hmm.
so first of all, in India, it's a very patriarchal society, and
Hmm.
people are not so encouraged, especially if I start beginning with my story. When I was looking for to go to France, also I needed money for that, and my parents were trying to apply for loans in banks. Everyone denied because they were like, what
Mm.
kind of course is this? How are you sending your daughter to a faraway country to learn about alcohol? I mean, are
Yeah.
you crazy? Are you in your right mind? Because my parents come from a very, very educational background. My elder
Mm.
sister is very educated. Like, my father is an aeronautical engineer. My mom
Mm.
is a lawyer with Supreme Court of India. My sister is a
Wow.
Wow.
psychologist. So everyone is
Jeez.
a very academic background. And then it's me who wanted something completely out of the
Sure.
box and wanted to do something new. Exactly. So it was very difficult in India itself. Even now, like my parents face a lot of
Mm,
judgment, but they don't care
That's
about
great.
it, and they are like, bah, it's our daughter who is doing it, what
oh, I
is your
love that.
problem?
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. It's like it's our money, I'm
It's
not
not
taking
like the
money from
banker. The
you.
bankers are like snarky aunts. It sounds like they're just like, we're not giving you for money of this. What are you doing? Like,
Exactly. So we had that, like, still my parents face a lot that, but then I came to France, and you face a lot of racism
Mm,
here because they are not so used to seeing a colored
hmm,
person in a industry which is so traditional and dominated by only
mm,
French technically. So I was working as a sommelier in the restaurant. I faced a lot of racism there. I was working in another Michelin star, and I faced a lot of racism there as well. I was like, then in my head, I was like, I did not study so much to face these kind of things,
yeah.
to be honest, because I was very well respected in my school. I did good in my school and everything. So why should I face these kind of things? Because it's
Sure.
not nice. Then I was working in a lot of wineries, also in Burgundy especially. So the thing is, in Bordeaux, they are used to international
Mm,
people and they are used to
hmm.
tourists. But in Burgundy, it's not so much. In Burgundy, it's still like farmer kind of a
Gotcha.
thing, like it's our winery, and they are not so open to tourists. They don't speak English so much.
Mm.
So out here as well, I'm literally the only colored person in the entire city center of Beaune.
wow.
So there is it's a very small place, and there is hardly any colored person. And I face so much racism in Burgundy, in Beaune especially
Wow.
as well, living, working, because again, it's not usual that you find a very colored woman working in such a traditional, especially in French traditional industry.
I was like that. That's wild, and like amazing and great
Yeah.
for you for like pushing through all that. And
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
just starting off with like that first moment of like being in a restaurant. And, you had to like serve wine or something, and that person.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know if you're familiar with like Brene Brown. She talks about like the sliding door moments in movies where like if the
yeah,
person had gone through the slide, made the train, it changes the story completely. And I'm thinking like, if that first moment of you serving wine, the person had been a jerk about it, like
exactly.
how
I
how
wouldn't have
that would
left.
have changed
Yeah,
your entire trajectory. So it's one
Yeah.
shows like the importance of having like this accepting aspect of the wine world because that person not being a jerk to you set you off this whole path. And two,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
just hats off to you for like pushing through so many like obstacles in a world that has been so traditionally like gate kept but now
Yeah.
is hopefully like getting more and more diversity and more acceptance in it.
I think it is getting diverse more and more. I think the French industry is trying to push their boundaries, especially in Bordeaux and Champagne. But I don't think the other places, like especially I would say in terms of point of view of Burgundy, it is still a bit closed off, and only big houses are the ones who are pushing
Mm,
the
mm,
traditions, or else not everyone is still open to the fact that they can go to international. Because I feel that the Bordeaux had to face a lot of troubles in terms of selling their wine at some point, and they faced a major economic crisis. Unlike Burgundy, where now the prices are just skyrocketing like anything else, and it's just so expensive. But Burgundy people are, I would say, very proud and
Mm.
snob, if I may, that they
mm.
are like, oh yeah, it's our wine. It will obviously go off. I mean, it's Burgundy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something that I noticed a lot as well as an outsider, especially
Mm.
from the industry.
Hmm.
And I just feel like hearing that story, I have to ask, with facing racism, sexism, ageism, even how do you push through it, Mohona? How do you're obviously successful and building amazing things. How do you kind of not let that stop you and keep pushing through?
So to be very honest, I cried.
Oh no. Yeah, yeah.
I cried. I cried, and then I'm like, they don't know what I went through, and they
Right.
don't deserve to put me down.
Yeah,
So no, I'm not
absolutely.
letting them down, because my first thing to everything is to cry.
I
And
feel
I'll
that.
be
I
like,
feel
It
that
is
too.
healthy. It's a healthy thing.
Yeah.
It's a healthy thing.
so I, for anything, for any minor inconvenience in my life, I will cry for the first 5 minutes, and then I'll be like, yes, it's not so difficult. I can get through that. It's not so difficult. They don't know what all I went through, so I can completely go through. This is nothing. Oh, it's a small thing. But my
Love it.
first reaction is always to cry and crib, and then suddenly realize, oh, I've gone through so many things. I can get through this also. So it's
That's
the
right.
thing.
I love it.
What's
I love
one
it.
more thing? Yep, just
That's
keep
right.
pushing. Love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I find I do that first part, and then sometimes I don't transition to the second part. So I'm gonna focus on that second part now.
The pushing through is important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, pushing through is important. Like there
Yes.
have been a lot of times where I faced a lot of problem with regards to my visa. Like my
Yeah.
last entire year because of the administration. Because another being an international, you have to fix your visa issues. You have to deal with so much of paperwork. So the good thing is I met a Frenchman who was easier to get me a visa. So I was like,
Nice. There we go.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
that way I got very easy. But
Nice.
yeah.
So, and aligned with all that too, so along the way, pushing through all of that, crying and then pushing through, you've gotten your WSET 3 certificate. You're a French wine scholar. I mean, building this amazing community, doing all of this. So I have to ask, was there a region, was there a style, was there a wine, something that kind of like, surprised you, took you out of nowhere, that made an impact positively or negatively, right? That you can look back on and kind of call out?
Okay, so for WSET 3, my major weak point was Italian wine regions. It was my horror. Like I kept on procrastinating that I will study, I will study, I will study. And when I actually had to face that, I am still running away from the Italian appellations and
That's
the
so funny.
entire classification because I mean, for France, it's easy for me because now I live here and I know it.
Sure.
So it's so easy for me to understand. But for Italian classification, there is just so complicated. I
Yeah.
was like, I would just run from that. So that was one thing I really hated about WSCT 3. And French wine scholar, I really loved Burgundy. I've always been a Burgundy person, always since the beginning. I think Burgundy has always been my love of my life because I've always been so attracted close with Burgundy because of its different practices, because of its different people, terroir, and the different appellations as well.
So, I mean, amazing. You have a love of Burgundy. You've been there through the good and the bad, but like you've been there for 3 years, and despite the misogyny and other aspects of the wine industry, you are still there and you love it there. So, what are the things that you love the most about being in Burgundy?
Everything. Everything. Okay, so honestly, I'm an Indian. I come from a culture where there is a lot of spice in my food. It's very contrary to that of French food because French food is not so spicy or does not have so many spices to it. But the moment you have beef bourguignon, oh, it is so nice. It's one of my favorite French food. Then the escargot. The first time I had snails in my life, I was so scared and I was making faces. But then I had it and I was like, this is something one of the best thing I've had. So escargot comes from Burgundy as well. So again, I love
Oh,
Burgundy.
I never knew that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
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 I have still
escargot
Yeah,
avoided
is delicious.
trying escargot with my entire soul. Like I have
Oh,
not.
delicious.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's so
believe all of you.
delicious. Like
Aaron won't try raspberries. No shot. He's trying snails.
That's
so
true.
escargot, and then my love for the grape Pinot Noir, basically a birthplace of Pinot. And I love how Pinot Noir is so versatile. The thing is, I felt and I have seen as well that in America, the Pinot is usually the fruitier way and more of a lighter sorts on the lighter end. But in France, especially in Burgundy, you can find Pinot Noir so versatile. I've had Pinot Noir from 88, a 68, 75, and even a 48 as well. And
That's
it
crazy.
was
Wow.
showing itself so good, so good. Like people would think that, oh yeah, if you have a Bordeaux, it will show itself pretty well because it's keeping so long. But a grape like Pinot Noir is so versatile and the winemaking is so fantastic that even I had 1948 and even still it was showing itself so well. So that's
Wow.
why I
Amazing.
love Burgundy so much. And then a very funny tradition, also, it was one of the questions that I love about Burgundy is that you try red wine first and then the white wine. Because
Oh.
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 I
Aaron, we
brought
just
this
talked
up.
About
about
that.
I brought this up last week because I was at a wine tasting and they were serving it in that direction, and they said the Burgundy way, and I said that to Colin and Joel, and they're like, I had no idea.
It's not that we didn't
Yeah.
believe you. I just never
No,
heard
I
it. But
Just didn't know.
That's so weird, though. We literally talked about this for the first time in our lives 4 days ago, and then you come on the show, and you were the first
wild.
person to ever reference it. That's amazing.
That is wild.
I'm
So
sorry, I
why
didn't mean
is
to
it?
cut
Why
you
is
off.
it?
I just had a
No,
mini
yeah.
stroke.
No, it's okay. So they feel, it's what I've learned from this in Burgundy. They feel if they serve the white after the red, the glass will hold in more aromas and it will be even more aromatic. The white will show
Oh.
itself even more and open itself even more. So that's why they serve the white.
Wow.
So the first time I remember, it was during my master's, and we were doing the tour of Burgundy, Bordeaux, and all the wine regions in France. And we were going through Burgundy area, and we were tasting in Joseph Drouhin. And that's where I learned the tradition, and that's where they told us that we first serve the reds and then the whites, and then they explained us everything, that why are they doing this, because it's not normal, because usually it's like, ah, yes, first you drink white, then you drink red, and that's how it always goes. But in Burgundy it's completely different,
Mm.
and I simply love that tradition. It's
That's
just
very
so
That's
cool.
fun.
out of the thing, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very cool.
that is one thing I love about Burgundy
I feel like that
also.
has like
I
a really
thought you were
positive
crazy.
mindset towards like white wines too. It's like we believe that white wines can be more, so we're giving white wines
elevate
the
them.
opportunity to
Yeah.
like to
Exactly.
open up more, because that's like not the mindset with a lot of
Exactly.
people with white wines, especially
true.
I think in the
Yeah,
States.
yeah, it's pretty sad because I feel that the Burgundy whites, like just not Chablis, but even Côte Chalonnaise, there's like
Mm.
so freaking good and has so much character to it. I mean, it can give you very acidic, fresh Chardonnay, but it can also give you a very oaky,
Mm.
toasty kind of Chardonnay
sure.
as well, which is
Mm-hmm.
very popular in Australia and United States.
Mm-hmm.
So I really love, again, the diversification and the like how versatile Pinot and Chardonnay is in
For
Burgundy.
sure.
Like it's just a
Very cool.
two grape region, but it's outdoing itself
Mm-hmm.
like really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a very underrated grape, Aligoté. Like
Oh
it's my
yeah.
favorite. It's so cool because it's not expensive. The bottles are
Yep.
not expensive at all. It's so easily accessible. It's fresh. It's the perfect summer wine you can actually have. Like Aligote is my go-to during summers.
Mm.
You have the freshness, you have the acidity, you have the citrusy. It's perfect.
Did we do an aligote? Have we done that?
No,
You
I
have to
don't.
do
We
an
haven't. We
Aligote.
need to though.
Okay, because I've
Yeah,
found one
me
then I
too.
think around here, and I think I meant to bring it onto the show and didn't. So thank you for the reminder, Mohona. We're gonna do that. That
Nice.
sounds awesome.
The-
I did want to go back to for a second because one of the things you called out was, one of the things that you love about Burgundy is, when you can kind of meld your Indian tradition and the cooking with the wine. So, we don't always talk about, food pairings when we're doing wines, but sometimes we do because something will pop into our head. And I feel like, pairing with Indian
Mhm.
food is tough because it's, there's so many bold flavors and intense flavors. So, just want to ask, you do it so well and you talk about it a lot. Is there a combination that, sticks out in your mind as something that we should all try, one that's kind of the perfect example of kind of the melding of those two worlds that you mentioned?
My favorite go-to, and even I made all the French come to our home and made them try, was chicken biryani with Pinot
Uh-huh.
Noir. It's my
Ooh.
go-to because my partner's friends who are French, they came one day, and I don't cook, okay? I'm an Indian person, I don't cook at all. My partner
Uh-huh.
cooks. I make
I
him
love
cook
it.
Indian food.
I mean, that's
So
that's a great pairing. Like you
Yes.
got
exactly,
your
Yeah, that
partner
works.
exactly.
cooks and you pair the wine.
Absolutely.
What way to go?
And he's French, so French have that knack of cooking. So I'm like, okay, please cook for me because I'm not good at cooking. I can handle the wine part, but you cook. So he cooks very delicious Indian food because whenever we go to India, he learns from my parents
Mm.
how to cook different dishes and everything, and he will come to France and he will try all those dishes to make because whenever I miss my Indian food, it's just him, he is cooking it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So our favorite pairing was a chicken biryani with chicken Hyderabadi biryani. I am specifying Hyderabadi
Sure.
because there are a lot different types of biryani in India. There are like more than 80 types of biryanis in India.
Wow.
Every state has a different kind of
Whoa.
biryani. So the biryani I'm specially talking about is Hyderabadi biryani from the state of Andhra Pradesh or Hyderabad, the region.
Gotcha.
Hyderabad biryani goes so well with Pinot Noir. It just melts in your mouth. Like a few months ago, we made the biryani and we paired it with the Pinot. I think it was a 2021.
Mm.
Yeah, it was 2020 Pinot from Côte de Beaune.
Mm.
And I think it was from Poma, if I'm not wrong. And it was so good. So good.
Nice.
Mohona, I am a basic white dude, and so when I go to an Indian restaurant, I get chicken tikka masala. I'm sorry, I'm apologizing to everyone out
And
there.
and he
I
calls it chicken tiki masala too. How about that?
Yeah, why would you
Yeah.
say it? It's tikka masala.
Did I screw up already?
It's okay. It's tikka, but yeah, you're good.
Oh yeah, no, dude. So the fact that I eat anything on any menu is a miracle, and it's not
That is
grilled cheese.
shocking.
That
That's not a
be- that being
cheeseburger.
s-
That's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, it's not a Wendy's. Good job, me. So the question to lead up to before I embarrass myself in my pronunciation is, what would you pair with that?
Tikka masala. The basic with tikka masala, I would go to roan pali actually and white roan, because white roan is just so freaking amazing with each and every Indian food.
Okay.
Like for chicken tikka masala, first of all, just want to clarify, tikka masala was introduced by the Brits, not
Yeah.
by the
Oh, see,
Indians.
now I'm even worse.
Yeah.
I'm even
Oh,
worse.
man.
Wow.
See, I just
Wow.
learned
Man.
something, and it's okay.
It's okay.
God, I don't even
mean,
order
they-
real Indian food. I'm so mad at myself.
Your world just exploded, Aaron.
I know. I very much appreciate you telling me that, because now
Yeah.
now I will try the first thing that you named.
So with tikka masala, go for kondru, bionier especially. But if it's not in the budget, because kondru is always on the higher end, in the middle range, I will talk in euros, more like in the 45-60 euro bracket. But rather go for white, known as, I don't know if you know that grape or
No.
not, but claret and
Okay, yeah.
Marsan and Rusan. It's
Oh, yeah.
the two brother grapes, Marsan and Rusan. I really love those grapes with my Indian food, because that is something goes so easy and it's just so nice, it's so delicious. And if there is a spinach, because a lot of Indian food has a spinach base, so I absolutely go for loire white, which is your Sauvignon Blanc, and a good Sancerre. It's perfect.
Sounds
Wonderful.
amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. There you
Like
go.
literally, I would have no idea what to order off a wine menu at an Indian restaurant. So thank you. You just gave me like so many. That was awesome. I mean, I didn't even know what to order in food side, but so
The good thing is with the fried stuff, like I don't know if you know the fried fritters of potatoes and different vegetables you get as a entree in a Indian restaurant, go for a champagne. I mean, champagne, not only champagne, but a sparkling
twist
wine
my
in
arm.
general. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the best pairing possible.
So yeah, twist my arm. Okay, I'll do it. Fine. Awesome.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Well, you just did such an amazing job breaking down Indian food and wine pairings. And on your social media account, the Windian Girl, you do such an amazing job breaking down.
I love it so much.
It's amazing. Wine for everyday people. So how do you make wine more approachable, especially to somebody who might not be into wine?
So my go-to is, how am I going to explain wine to someone who has zero knowledge about wine? Like, does not even know that wine comes from a grape. How will you explain something like this to someone? And my entire thing goes to how we are explaining anything to anyone. Like yesterday, I made a reference how Chenin Blanc is like Beyonce.
I was gonna
It's
bring it up.
versatile. It's completely,
Love that.
completely diva. So that's how I actually make the pop references, because I feel that people are more aware about the pop culture and pop references. Even I am, in because I am also aware about that, and I will talk like that and compare things like that to make someone understand, because I know how intimidating wine can be and how difficult it can be. So to break it down, it's easier that way to talk how you talk in a day-to-day life. Like the other day I explained on Instagram how Syrah can be, it's like a midnight meeting at Rhone River, because Syrah comes from Rhone Valley. And it's like you're meeting, it's the ambience you're going through, it's intense, it's dark, it's very luscious. So
What an incredible
those kind of
picture. I'm so
references I
right
come.
there. It's
Yeah,
that one
absolutely.
was amazing. I was like, yes, that is Syrah. That was awesome.
So yeah, that's how I make it, because my partner, even though he's French, I realized, and after I met his family as well, French people, how I always thought that they always know about wine. It's not the
Mm.
case actually, because they would like what they would know what they like, but they don't really know about wine. I mean,
Gotcha.
I know France better than he does,
Oh
because
wow.
I know the entire France because of its region and wine and everything. So whenever I'm with his family and everything, I'm the one who's selecting wine, because
Mhm.
they can trust me blindly. So that is
Mm.
another one achievement I feel very
That's
happy
amazing.
about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that a table full of white
The,
people, a brown person is selecting their
the,
wine.
the French
That's
the
So I
French
love
fantastic.
it.
family trusts you merit badge. It's like a
Exactly.
good
Yeah.
one. Like
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I, even when I'm explaining them new wines which I have tried, or the new grape varieties which they don't know about, I always make a reference to something very French, or an experience that you go here, you will feel like this kind of stuff, or something like that. And that's how I present the wine to his family as well, to give them a reference, to give them an idea what they can actually see in the wine or feel in the wine actually.
I
So
love that.
yeah,
We might need to make that a new segment on this show. Like the
you should.
yeah, the
Yeah.
how like the paint a picture or something. We'll have to workshop the title,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I love the idea that, you're really just kind of explaining more so than just the flavors, the experience that it's bringing you to. So let's look into that. I think that would be way
yeah.
cool.
Because man, I love all of your stuff on Instagram, because it's all, it's like it
Thank
creates, yeah, I mean, it creates an image, but it's also like funny and clever, and it
Yeah.
like pulls people in, and then whether or not they want to, like, you're thinking about it, you're like, wait, what,
Yep.
how is this like this thing? And then
you. Yeah.
it's just, it's great. I know some of them have absolutely blown up. I noticed, like, it's definitely like a great, like, little format that you have come up with. And then I saw some of your posts had millions of views and
Yeah.
shares, and it's very cool. So
Yeah,
congratulations
the
for that.
one cat pee one, because it's the funniest thing,
The
because
cat pee one.
that thing blew up like crazy. Because I mean, I can understand that, and then the Vionier, how Vionier smells like an expensive moisturizer or expensive
Uh-huh.
hand cream which you put, which it does, which it
Uh-huh.
does, because Vionier is so aromatic. It's just so
For
aromatic.
sure.
Well, and the cat
So
pee
That's
thing
so
is,
funny.
cat pee's like so funny, because it's like one of those things where, like, to the non-wine person, that's a
yeah,
crazy comparison, and in the wine community, it's an actual comparison. So
Yeah.
it's not, like, it's
exactly.
it's not like something that's out of left field for anyone. Like, everyone universally is like, got it. like,
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly. It was the most viral one, because because number one, people felt that how is it possible that there is cat pee in wine, and actually I
and very
got a lot of
popular cat pee
comments like,
wine.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And a lot of people were like, now I can figure out the wine smell I was getting in my wine. I'm like, voila, that was my point. Thank you.
Exactly.
All right, so what's next? You have your website, you have your consultancy, you have this awesome Instagram. What's your, like, goal? Like, what's next for you?
So actually, my main goal is now to build on my own wine tasting in Paris or in Beaune, because before I was working for someone, and yeah, everything. So now I want, finally my visa came through. Now I can have my own business finally after
Nice.
a long
Oh,
time.
nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations. That's
my
awesome.
thank you. So now my own thing is that I want to make my own wine tasting where it's just me and I don't have to work under someone else, and I don't have to
Sure.
It's the
follow
dream.
their format, because there is
Yeah.
no format when it comes to wine, in my opinion.
Sure.
You just feel, because there can be aromas which I can feel which you won't feel, and you will only feel it when I tell you that, oh yeah, this is present. And that's how
Mm.
tricky the mind plays. And yeah, I really want to start my own wine tastings now in Paris or in Beaune.
That's awesome. Sounds like a
Amazing.
stop wasting your wine trip coming
We'll
up.
be there. Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
yeah. If we ever make it out there, we're gonna come see you for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
If you are in Bonn, you have free invite to my
Oh,
place
thank
because
you.
we live right next to the train
Oh,
station.
perfect.
You have wine, you have a good conversation, and you have great food. So you're for sure
Amazing.
invited.
Going on
Awesome.
Expedia right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does
Booking
this
my
take?
tickets.
This is not going to take a lot of convincing on our end.
So-
Mona, thank you so much for
Yeah.
chatting with us today. Before we let you go, is how, if folks are listening and they want to connect with you more or they want to, follow you, where should they follow you? What should they look for?
So you follow me on Wine Indian Girl, the underscore Wine Indian underscore girl, because the Wine Indian comes from wine and my origin Indian. So that is the where anyone can find me and anyone can talk to me because I am so active on Instagram,
Nice.
which is not
I
good,
mean, if
but
you
I am.
weren't, we would
Hey.
never have found each other. We would never been able to have this conversation. So I appreciate it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's my
Awesome.
Instagram. You can find me on my Instagram.
And I'll be sure to
Beautiful.
put that in the show notes so you can link to it right there. So
Perfect. Sounds
Absolutely.
perfect.
Mona, thank you so much. This was awesome. You're welcome to come back anytime. I hope next time we could maybe find a way for all of us to drink the same bottle together.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
would
We
be
loved
incredible.
Yeah.
having you, and we'd love to have you back.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wasn't that just such a fun time hanging out with Mohona? Such a just super fun. Love hearing about just her heritage and her approach to everything. And I think her enjoyment and her love of wine really just kind of shone through the whole time we were talking to her.
And we should note that was a long distance call, right? So she's in Burgundy. We set it up. She was talking. I think it was like 4 p.m. where she was. We're all chatting on a Saturday morning. It was great. Nice little chat on a weekend.
So listen, hey, we hope that you appreciated that too. Kind of a first for us, a quick wine review up front, and then just a lovely chat with a friend of the pod. So hope you enjoyed the heck out of it. And I think that's going to do it for us for this episode. So thanks again for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed it, definitely come and hang out with us on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. Chat with us. Aaron's always manning those lines and looking forward to hanging out and chatting with you. So drop us a line. And thanks again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Stop Wasting Your Wine. And
Bye, y'all.
remember, stop wasting your wine.
bye.